ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Okay, we are continuing with the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The acronym for this chapter is DOG. D stands for divine and demoniac. O stands for outlook of those who are demoniac by nature, and everything about their mentality, their thought process, their activities, the reactions they get because of their sinful activities. Everything is mentioned in the middle section, outlook and opinion. And then G stands for gateway to hell. So this chapter is a little scary. First, Krishna begins with uh, first three verses where he describes, this is something we discussed in detail last week. I'll just read it for the sake of completeness, and then we begin with the demoniac characteristics today. Fearlessness, purifications of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of the sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty. Modesty means humility basically, being unassuming of oneself. Steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, um, cleanliness, freedom from envy, and from the passion for honor, freedom from desire to be honored. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So that's something we covered. Now we'll begin with the next one. Okay. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, or son of Pritha. So, after describing lot of divine qualities, and after describing divine qualities at many places in Bhagavad Gita, for the very first time, Krishna is going to speak about demoniac qualities. Before this, he never spoke, and he is going to describe in detail. Actually, the rest of the entire chapter is focusing on the demoniac qualities. So the first one is pride. um, Dambha. Pride means to show oneself as religious even though one has a sinful nature. So that is pride. Means um, mm, we have, basically we show ourselves in good terms when there is some other truth lying within us, or basically we hide our sinful nature. I was hearing a lecture by one devotee from UK, Sutapa Prabhu. He was mentioning about becoming serious in Krishna consciousness, going to next level, and he was mentioning that a devotee, as he becomes more and more serious, he does not have secretive bad habits. Secretive bad habits means um, um, habits which are not conducive, but one secretly encourages those habits, but one does not show or reveal them to anyone, but he secretly enjoys them, those bad habits. So that is pride. Means I'm trying to show myself as very spiritual, even though I have secretive bad habits, I don't show themselves to anyone. So that is Dambha. Then there is Darpa. Now, first three, pride, arrogance, and conceit, are all related to pride, but there are different angles to look at these qualities. Then there is Darpa, arrogance, which means pride due to wealth, knowledge, position, etc. So if somebody says, well, I am the CEO of a company, then the pride may come. I am the CEO. I am the CEO. I am the CEO. Or knowledge. I am computer science engineer from this university. Or at office, I may be good at something. So pride may come there that I am better than everybody else in my domain of working. So pride may come there. Or one may become proud of their wealth, that I am very rich man compared to everybody else. So that aham comes from the wealth. So these qualities, pride arising because of wealth, knowledge, and material positions, these qualities, they come from previous lives, kind of, and they are very easy to get rid of as one start practicing Krishna consciousness seriously, especially like chanting 16 rounds, following four regulatory principles, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. These are called four regulatory principles that makes us human. So when one follows these things very quickly, He can get rid of pride because of wealth, knowledge, and position. But other pride, religious pride, remains. That is a difficult one to get off. Like trying to show ourselves as more spiritual than who we are, or being proud of our own Krishna consciousness. That remains. So then there is Abhiman, which is again pride. It is desire to be worshipped by others. When we say worshipped by others, does not mean somebody brings a arti paraphernalia and worship us. But we show ourselves in such a way that we want to be respected by others as saintly people. That is called Abhiman. Like those who can relate, and this is a difficult pride to get rid of, a very difficult pride to get rid of. In it can be materially there, it can be spiritually there. um, like I want to be seen as a best software developer, and even though I don't know something, even though I'm not good at something, I will try to pose myself and act in such a way that I hide my shortcomings, and I show myself as more than who I actually am. I want to be respected. I want things to go well. I want myself to be successful, to prove to others that I am great, intelligent, knowledgeable, devotional. You add it, something like that. So desire to be respected by others, and opposite of it is I don't want anybody to think that I am not so great after all. And this desire is a material desire. This quality is a demoniac quality. Now, um, divine quality is being truthful, being honest, being humble, being humble. Like, okay, this is who I am. When a person has divine quality, he his goal is one. Vayavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. Ekeha kuru nandana. His his goal is one, that he wants to please the Supreme Lord. He wants to please Krishna. He wants to go back to Godhead. He wants to advance in his spiritual life. So his intelligence is single pointed. Um, then good, bad, what people think about him or her, rather than trying to show off, he focuses on, my Lord, please, whatever you desire, I accept. Please, whatever I do, let my attraction increase towards you. Let me come closer to you. And whatever it takes to get that, please get it done. Or in spiritual circle, those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, this Abhiman may be conceived as, I want to lead very nice kirtans. I want to give very nice lectures. I want to present myself as very nice so that people can respect me for who I am. All I want to show off myself as more than what my real worth is. I want everybody to perceive me as better than all others. I am the best. So this is lack of modesty, lack of honesty, and this is abhiman, desire to be honored, respected, worshipped by others. So these three, dambha once again is, I try to hide my secretive bad habits and present myself as I am very saintly. I do not have a back angle in my life. And then darpa is very beginning stage of pride, which easily goes away, which is pride because of my engineering, my doctorate, my knowledge, my wealth. But also a difficult one for a materialist. This pride is too high. Very good example of this pride is Nala, Kuvera, and Manigriva. Those who have not heard this example, they were two sons of Kuver. Kuver is like finance minister. He had two sons. Their name were Nala, Kuvera, and Manigriva. They were dancing naked with naked girls in a lake of Lord Shiva, and they were intoxicated, and they were influenced by mode of ignorance. At that time, Narad Muni happened to come, and Narad Muni saw that this is animalistic when people bathe in rivers without clothes, and especially these kind of sinful activities. So Narad Muni is a saint. In front of a saint, one should present himself or herself as one should dress appropriately. Sometimes people don't dress appropriately in front of saint, that becomes very offensive. So one should know how to dress where. And this is Narad Muni, he's a sannyasi, a saint, and in front of him, these boys and girls are dancing without clothes. So that's highly offensive. Immediately, the girls understood the etiquette that this is a saintly person, I must behave appropriately. And they immediately got out and they started covering themselves up to be in a proper etiquette. But Nalaguve and Manigriva, they were very proud that we are sons of Kuver. We are sons of Kuver. We are sons of Kuver. And we are the richest people. We have a lot of wealth. So, kind of, um, it's the intoxicating effect of wealth. It blinds one of the etiquettes. Like we don't care about others because I am just too full of myself. Narad Muni saw this disease, and Narad Muni cursed them that because you have become so proud of your wealth, you become like trees. Because sometimes when one is proud of one's wealth, then poverty is a right disease for that person to realize that there was nothing to be proud of. Because according to karma, you have got something which is going to stay with you as long as the life remains. After that, everything is finished. So pride is basically a temporary intoxication. So there is more story to that, but um, so there is dambha, showing hiding one's secretive bad habits. Darpa, pride, proud of externals. In fact, in one of the prayer Kunti Devi prays, um, जन ऐश्वर्य श्रुति श्री भी एदमाना मदापुमा आदि एव अभिदातुर्वै त्वम अकिंचना गोचर. So Kunti Devi prays to Lord Shri Krishna, Tvam Akinchana Gochara, means you are the Lord of those, you are the shelter of those who are impoverished. Means those people who feel that I have nowhere else to go, I have no good quality. Um, um, they, when they approach the Lord for shelter, they can take shelter of the Lord with feelings. When one thinks himself impoverished, means I have nothing to be proud of, I am completely devastated, they can take shelter of the Lord with feelings, and they receive they get it, they get the mercy of the Lord. But those who are too proud or too intelligent, or too wealthy or too beautiful, they don't take shelter of the Lord, they take shelter of their own opulence. So Kunti Devi, we know the mother of Pandavas. Kunti Devi prays, these things are obstacles in the path of devotion. Because if we are too intelligent, we think by my intelligence I can do it. Even if Krishna doesn't help me, that's all right. I have confidence on my intelligence. By my wealth, I can save myself. If there is a disease, I can do a lot of things. I can be happy in my own ways. Why do I need the Lord? I have everything. I can buy whatever I want. So people have a tendency. This is called durashray. Durashray means false shelter. People have a tendency to take shelter of their wealth, and then some people are very beautiful, so they have lot of pride that I look better than everybody else. So because they have that, they also cannot feelingly take shelter of the Lord. Any little pride by any form, by any means it's there, it obstructs us to take shelter of the Lord feelingly, cannot feelingly take shelter of the Lord. So, and then there is Abhiman, desire to be honored. My Lord, please help me. Why do you need help? So that I may be respected. So there is Abhiman there. Nobody prays, my Lord, please help me to become, please humble me. Everybody prays, my Lord, please help me so that I can maintain my respect in front of others. So at some point of time, I should give it up. So that becomes Abhiman. Then there is anger. Anger is, we understand, over trifles, small things, small communication problem, smallest thing. One person said one word, and we immediately our adrenaline raises and we become angry over trifles, small things. Then there is harshness, which is parushya, means cruelty or harshness or rough language. This is another demoniac quality. Krishna describes in 17th chapter. He says, um, vachovegam, to control the tongue, the austerity of speech, control the speech, where he says that speech should be truthful, the speech should be pleasing, the speech should be beneficial to others, it should be pleasing to others. So, but opposite of that austerity is harsh speech. It's a demoniac quality. And then there is agyan or ignorance. Ignorance means I don't know what is right, what is wrong. That's another demoniac quality. Because if we lose the discrimination of knowing the right versus wrong, then we are doing the wrong and we think this is the right thing to do. And we are hurting so many people thinking that now most of the people have this demoniac quality, ignorance. They don't know how to behave where and what to say where. And so they lack the discrimination power because of their ignorance. And many times when we don't make any mistakes, if we live a very saintly life, then we are very careful in every dealing we do, to every person we speak to, that am I acting on Vaishnav qualities, on good qualities. But if we are making so many mistakes every day, then we just don't care if there are few more mistakes made, because there is already ocean of mistakes that are happening. So the ignorance, the wrong activity, the karmic reaction for uh, a bad dealing is we are further incriminated to do more of such bad dealings. So these are the qualities that belong to a demoniac nature or son of Pritha. And what are the qualities that belong to a divine nature? We saw in the previous verse: purifying one's existence, taking shelter of the Lord, peaceful, tolerant, and all those qualities. Modest, humble. Now Krishna speaks about the destiny of divine and demoniac. Um, what happens to them? Krishna says the transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation. The first three verses conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. But if we try to be proud of one's wealth, possession, beauty, education, have secretive bad habits, and trying to get some honor, then Krishna says, well, they will make for bondage. They'll bind you to this world. And then Krishna kind of encourages Arjuna. He said, but do not worry, O son of Pandu, O Arjuna, for you are born with the divine qualities. So you don't have to worry. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. So now the demoniac outlook and opinion begins. Krishna says, no more divine. I had described at length. Now hear at length about the demoniac. Okay, so this is something. Our spiritual life begins with faith, and then when how our spirituality develops. When Krishna sees that, well, we have faith, then Krishna arranges for sadhu sangha, association. In association, we learn how to do bhajan, and then we start doing bhajan. We start chanting the holy names, hearing Krishna katha, uh, doing some seva, and as we do it on regular basis, then our anarthas are removed. We all have um, we all have a divine nature, and we all have demoniac nature. They both exist in us, and the demoniac nature that exists in us is basically our anarthas, impurities of the heart. They are called anarthas. But if we do bhajan sincerely, then those anarthas will be removed over a period of time based on how sincere we are in our bhajan. We should not, ideally, we should not act on demoniac qualities. Even though the propensity for them is there, we should not act on them. Um, but by chance, once in a while, if we act on them, then we should heavily repent. Repentance helps us to come out of the reaction, is to repent for our faults. So once we start doing bhajan, which we come to an association of devotees, then our anartha start to reduce. We start becoming purified. Then these anarthas make us unenthusiastic in devotional service, creates lot of doubts and many other things. But once bhajan, process of bhajan is accepted nonetheless, then as anathas are removed, one becomes very fixed up in one's spiritual life, nishtha. And as one becomes fixed up, ruchi will develop, taste for chanting Krishna's name, association of devotees, reading scriptures, cooking for Krishna, doing various services for Krishna. One will develop some taste there, and then one becomes, taste give rise to attachment. Just like if I really like the taste of gulab jamun, then I'll become very attached to gulab jamun. Or if I derive some pleasure anywhere, attachment will develop. Likewise, once we start deriving ruchi or taste from Krishna consciousness, then we will develop our attachment towards Krishna. And then that will reach to the stage of bhava and prema, which is the topmost stage. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada used to say, what is the goal of life? Prema pumarto mahan, to attain love of God. But to attain love of God, it's not possible, because how can you love someone? Before you love someone, you are attached to that person. How can you love somebody unless you are attached? Just like if we love our children or our spouse or our family members, before that there is some kind of attachment with them. So this attachment, ashakti, will not develop till there are anarthas. As long as there is anarthas, our attachment will only be towards material desires. We cannot develop attachment towards Krishna as long as there is anarthas. That's why there is importance of the process of bhajan. Unless we are not doing bhajan, we won't be able to make progress. Although we hear it, we won't be able to apply it. Because what is the goal? The goal is to advance in our spiritual life. What it means to advance in our spiritual life? To advance in our spiritual life means our spiritual taste is increasing and our material taste is going down. One time devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, how do I know if if I'm making spiritual progress? Prabhupada said, your material desire will go down, but they will not go down by themselves. They will go down as our spiritual desire will increase. That will happen gradually as our anarthas reduce. That's why there is, the goal is love of God, uh, but it will come only once the heart is purified. Otherwise, there will be love for material things and love for material people. So this happens through the process of bhajan kriya, which is the most important thing at this point of time. So, but some of the people do not have even the shraddha, faith. So they don't get association, they don't do bhajan, their anathas remain with them, and that's it. Their spiritual life is zero. So Krishna speaks a lot about opinion and outlook. There's probably no God. Now stop worrying and and enjoy your life. So this is how demonic people say. They say we don't know if God is there or not. So why worry? Just engross ourselves in deep sense gratification. That's how they think. So um, those who are demoniac, they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. They do not know. They run behind material sense gratification, and uh, they know it's a wrong thing to do, but their knowledge is only theoretical. So they don't care about it and they just do even the wrong thing. So ignorance, they don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done. They don't have cleanliness, good behavior, or truthfulness. They're not truthful. They're not truthful. They're okay to lie, borrow, steal, whatever it takes to get to their sense gratification. They even have thoughts of, violence if it's required to get to my sense gratification. So clearly they do not have good behavior. Um, um, and they don't have cleanliness. Cleanliness refers to they are outwardly also unclean, and their hearts are unclean. Their internals are unclean. They have a lot of impurities. Prabhupada says either they don't know scriptures or have no faith in them, and hence they do what they like to do. So either they don't know scriptures, they don't know what scripture says, what is right, what is wrong. Or even if they see the scriptures and they know this is not the right thing to do, this is the right thing to do. I must worship the Lord, devotional service. I must not engage in these activities of sense gratification. So they either don't know, or even if they know, they have no faith. And hence they run behind fulfilling their material desires. Their conclusion about this word. So this was previous was demoniac opinions. Now demoniac philosophy. What is their philosophy? They say their conclusion about this word. They say this word is false, asatyam, like a dream. So they have their own philosophy. They say, what is this word all about? Well, we don't know. And then, they make their own philosophy. Sometimes they say that, well, when we are in a dream, um, um, it looks so real, but then when we get up, then we realize that actually it was not reality, it was a dream. So maybe what I'm living right now, there's also a dream. Who knows? Who knows what is happening? There is no reality in this world. So in this way they make their own demoniac philosophy. Instead of accepting what scripture says, they make their own philosophy and they believe their own philosophy. So, and they say that the word is false, like a dream, asatyam. And they say there is no God in control. Anishwara. Ishwar means there is Bhagwan, there is supreme controller. Anishwar means there probably is no God. And then if somebody asks who are you, then they say I am Kam Haitukam, means I am produce of sex desire. My father and my mother were agitated by sex desire, and I was born. But are you spirit soul? No, I am not spirit soul. So if I am not spirit soul, then there is no God. And then if I am not spirit soul, then there is no next life, there is no previous life. So they don't believe in cause and effect. Cause and effect means they don't believe in karma. There is no God, there is no next life, there is no previous life. I am not a soul. I am just produced by the sex desire of my mother and father. And um, I can do whatever I can because I don't have to suffer for my wrongdoings because there is no wrongdoing. Thank you. Um, they don't believe in karma. So if they don't believe in karma, means you can do whatever you like to do, and it's not gonna come back, because they don't believe in karma. So this is their own demoniac philosophy. Krishna says, imagine Krishna is speaking about it. Krishna is telling these people are atheistic. There is no God. I am not a spirit soul. I am just a product of sex desire. There is no future, there is no past. I can do whatever I like to do. There is no karma. So just enjoy life. Life is going to end anyway, so just enjoy life. So something on their philosophy. And what this such a demoniac philosophy leads to, it leads to demonic activities. Thus they are lost to themselves. Nashtat tamaha tamana, and have no intelligence. Alpa buddhaya. Buddhi means intelligence. Alpa buddhaya means their intelligence, they have no intelligence. They have very little intelligence. Um, um, they can't think, they can't see things as they are. So, very little intelligence, and they are lost to themselves. Lost to themselves means they don't know who they are. They have no idea I'm spirit, soul, part and parcel of the Lord. They don't believe in what Krishna says. Um, Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Krishna says, hanyamane sharire. Sharir, when sharir is destroyed, hanyata is to destroy. Na hanyate. We are not destroyed. We are not destroyed when the body is destroyed. Then Krishna says, um, dehi nosman yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tata dehantara prapti dhires tattanamuyati. Krishna says, as the soul is continuously moving from boy to youth to old age, the soul will continue after death, and our next birth will be based on our activities today. Whatever we are desiring, whatever desires we have, that is going to decide our next birth in our next life. So they are lost to themselves. They don't have any knowledge. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Bhuta, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says we are Sanatan. Sanatan means we are eternal living entities. And Krishna says, Mamai Vamsa, you are all my part and parcel, you are eternal living entities. But they are lost to themselves. They just think themselves as the body product says desire. No karma, do whatever you like. And hence they have no intelligence. No intelligence means they don't know what is right, what is wrong. So do wrong thing, doesn't matter. Just whatever helps you enjoy. They engage in unbeneficial, horrible work, ugra karma, meant to destroy the world. So what is their activities? Their activities are horrible, ugra karma. Example of ugra karma, well, cow cannot give milk anymore. Cut the cow, eat the flesh. So this is called ugra karma. Why? Because they don't think there is any future for this sinful activity. They think it's okay. Even in America, people don't even get married and they have relationship before marriage. It's a heavy ugra karma, but some of them say, what is the need of marriage? Just enjoy and throw away. So the relationship is not based on service. Relationship is not based on trust and care and love. Relationship is based on sense gratification. So why? Because whatever it takes to enjoy, no need of any rules and regulations or any laws. Just engage in ugra karma. I don't like somebody, kill him. Whatever I want to do, I may lie, I may cheat, I may do whatever it takes to enjoy. So um, um, so they engage in unbeneficial work. See, when somebody believes in God and when somebody believes in karma, then they'll be careful with what they are doing. Very good example is Duryodhan. He is trying to burn them in the house of lack. He is trying to disrobe their wife Draupadi. He is trying to play a game of dice by cheating, and Duryodhan is not thinking, well, whatever I am doing to them, it's gonna come back to me tomorrow. And he suffered for that, and he died for that. Ashwadhama made a mistake. He suffered. He's still suffering for that. So um, mm, they don't see um, any connection before and further. They engage in horrible ugra karma. And that's what is destroying the world today. Nuclear weapons. Why nuclear weapons? Well, protect yourself. In order to protect yourself, if you can kill the entire nation into bloodshed, who cares? Just do it. Just be very selfish. Animal killing, breaking regulatory principles, no God, no next life, no karma, just do what you like to do. So, because their philosophy is demoniac, which is there is no God, there is no karma, and produces sex desire. So, do whatever you like. So, demoniac philosophy leads to demonic activities. They have no values. Their activities and consequences are further described in more verses. Demoniac tendencies and their conducts. How do they behave? And what are their tendencies? um, Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvita mohad घृत्वा grahan pravartante suchivratah. Kamam ashritya dushpuram, taking shelter of insatiable thirst for enjoyment. So kamam ashritya means shelter. Kamam ashritya, what is their shelter? Their shelter is lusty desires. Kama, uh, enjoyment. What do you want to do? You have 2 hours free. Well, let me um, watch something. Let me do this kind of sense gratification. Let me have some animal products to eat. Let me do this. So they are seeking for their shelter, for their happiness. They are seeking for sense gratification. So they take shelter of kamam. But a devotee, he takes shelter of God. He takes shelter of Krishna. Mam ekam sharanam braja. But these people, they take shelter of kamam, wealth, fame. That's their shelter. Then damba mana madanvita. They are observed in conceit of pride and false prestige. So damba mana, um, madanvita. Mada means mad. They are intoxicated, mad with and proud of their wealth, education, beauty. They think they are great because they have these things. Um, Mohad, Gritvasat, Grahan. So Grihi means home, um, um, home. Grahan is wealth, position, etc. Everything connected to home. Um, Mohad, they are illusion. They are attracted by temporary things. They're attracted by their home, attracted by their wealth, attracted by their position. They're attracted by everything around them, not understanding that death will come and take everything away from them. And whatever they have is according to their karma. What's going to come with them is how they lead life today. That's what they're going to decide. But they are just illusioned and attracted by uh, some comfortable opportunity for sense gratification. So Mohad, Grihat, Vasat, Grahan. Grihat is family, and Vasat is place of residence. Vas, Grahan, position. Um, Pravartante, Sachivrata, and they are always sworn to unclean vows. In other words, um, they are very determined. They are very determined to engage in sinful activities. They do not have any fear. They are just waiting day and night. How can they enjoy sense gratification tomorrow? What about day after tomorrow? That's their ashray. Very much attached to material sense gratification. Don't care about what is going to happen in future. God who has seen. Even if he's there, I'll go and pray to him. But my shelter is not him. I just go there. My shelter is my kama ashrita, my material sense gratification. That's my shelter. Illusion. They think they are just progressing, and world respect them. So that is how they are further put into illusion. They think that they are progressing because now they have bigger properties, now they have bigger business, now they have more wealth. Everybody in the world respect them. when they're respected by the whole world, that they are so big and famous and other, they think that we are actually progressing. We're actually, I am one of the best person now. So this is called illusion, because they are simply going down into more and more hellish conditions because of their work and not taking shelter of the Lord, and taking shelter of karma. Their desires are material by nature. I want more and more accumulation. That's their shelter, not Krishna. And everybody gives them an impression that I'm really progressing. I may have mentioned this before, something that struck me, that the CEO of beef industry, CEO of McDonald's, he is very proud of killing, I think, around 400,000 cows every day. He kills 400,000 cows every day. And he is putting in newspaper, this is what I do. And people, and he's thinking when he is giving the newspaper, he's very proud of it. He's very proud that, see, I have made my business go from 50,000 cows killing a day to 400,000 cows killing a day. You foolish rascal, you don't understand what your next life will be. You don't see what activities you are doing. So this is called illusion. They think they are progressing, but they are simply, Krishna says, you will see, Krishna says, I cast them lifetime after lifetime in hellish conditions. Krishna says that. Very heavily Krishna speaks about it. But these foolish people, they think I am progressing. Then what is their attitude? Their attitude is just enjoy. This is attitude of every demoniac person. Now, when we are discussing these things, when I first read this chapter, Divine and Demoniac, it was kind of an eye opener for me, because I felt that there is something wrong I am doing that I need to work on. Now, we may not have the exact same philosophy, but then we may have portion of the symptoms of that. Okay, I am also running behind these things. I am also this. So there is a demoniac nature. It's not that we say that there is no God and there is no soul and this. So we may believe in those things. Still, our activities and our direction may be influenced by ignorance. So everyone has certain qualities, and certain exist in us and certain don't exist in us. But this is like Krishna is talking about one extreme, but one can relate with, okay, where is something that Krishna is telling that matches with my way of thinking, and that Krishna describes that this is demoniac thoughts, and how can I work and improve on it? How can I make it centered around Krishna? So their attitude of a demoniac person is enjoy. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human life. So they think, what is the goal of life? Goal of life is to earn more, watch some more movies, eat in some more restaurants, and make people more envious of me by accumulating more. And yeah, everybody should think that I am better than others. I'm more intelligent, higher education, more beautiful, or my spouse is more beautiful, or my children are more educated, or my grandchildren are better, or um, whatever, whatever. So they believe that, okay, gratifying the senses is a prime necessity of human life. Thus, until the end of life, their anxieties is immeasurable. They're always anxious. Why they are anxious? Because goal of their life is sense gratification. So when they see I cannot enjoy sense gratification, somebody else is enjoying sense gratification. I cannot enjoy sense gratification. So they get lot of anxiety. Why I cannot enjoy? Why he can enjoy? Why she can enjoy? Why I cannot enjoy? Why my job is $70,000 per year and my other friend job is $100,000 per year? Why I'm not making so much wealth? Why? So they are, because the facility for sense gratification is limited, but the desire for sense gratification is unlimited. So when a person thinks I am the enjoyer, he becomes envious of everybody he sees who is enjoying. Because he wants to take shelter of calm ashrita. I am the enjoyer. How can somebody enjoy? So he become depressed. He become depressed. Oh no, I cannot enjoy. And when he thinks that he may not be able to enjoy that facility ever, he becomes really envious and depressed. So, and imagine this is one desire. If all of their desires are material, and there is always somebody who is enjoying more than us. But when when the tendency is I am the enjoyer, not Krishna is not the enjoyer. I am not supposed to serve Krishna. I am not supposed to give pleasure to Krishna. Bhokta is aham. I am bhokta, not Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, last verse, 5.29, Krishna speaks about peace formula. And he says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam, sarvaloka maheshwaram, suhuridam sarva bhutanam, gyatva mam shantim rachati. That person will attain shanti, peace. What? Bhoktaram jagat tapasam. I am the Bhokta. Prabhupada says there, Krishna is the only Bhokta. One who understands Krishna is a Bhokta, I am meant to serve Krishna, then we enjoy. We enjoy we enjoy by giving pleasure to Krishna. We enjoy by making Krishna enjoy. Just like we read Bhagavad Gita, we enjoy. We do kirtan, we enjoy. We chant the holy names, we enjoy. We offer food to Krishna and then we enjoy. So our center of chanting, glorifying, hearing Krishna Katha, it gives pleasure to Krishna. But there we feel the deepest form of enjoyment. But when we try to take the position of Krishna, that is called Mayavad, I am God. When we are trying to be the enjoyer, I am taking the position of Krishna. I am trying to be the enjoyer. Then what happened? So many mental anxieties. So many anxieties, unlimited. So when we don't see Krishna as a Bhokta, when I am the Bhokta, Krishna says, if you see that Krishna is a Bhokta, then you become peaceful. If we see somebody else enjoying, then we understand that, well, I have a devotee thinks in a certain way. He thinks that, well, desire for sense gratification, Krishna says, will only give lot of anxiety and dukkha. A person knows that, well, those I am thinking they are enjoying their sense gratification. If you actually go and ask them, they are miserable in that situation. That's how Maya works. Those who are enjoying, they are miserable. And we think if I get that opportunity to enjoy, then I will be happy. Isn't that Maya? Isn't that illusion? There is a beautiful interaction between Prahlad Maharaj and a Brahmana. Prahlad Maharaj was going, and a Brahmana was lying like a python. He would not search for his food also. If any food comes by its own accord, he would just eat. Otherwise, he would do his bhajan without any cares. So Prahlad Maharaj, by seeing him, he could understand this is a great personality. So Prahlad Maharaj asked him, from your activities, I can, this comes in 7th canto, I think second last chapter. Prahlad Maharaj says that I can see from your activities that Ajga Vritti, that you are a very saintly person. Please tell me something about um, why you are sitting here, what you are doing, and what's your thought process is. And this Brahmana says, he says, people are running after women, and those who are running after women, they are not happy. So my mind says there is some pleasure there, but those who have it, they don't have any pleasure. So I have understood that um, um, what my mind says and what the real experience is, they don't match. So I have decided I will sit here and do my own bhajan. Do my own bhajan. So there, till thus until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable because they're always trying to be the enjoyers and they cannot enjoy. Their mind is always dissatisfied, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires. Desires are unlimited. There is a saying that earth has everything for one's needs, but earth does not have sufficient for even one man's greed. Greed is unlimited. Needs, everyone's needs are fulfilled, but greed is unlimited. And how Maya works makes one think that my greed is actually my need, although there is no need, but greed is unlimited. Um, so thus they are bound by network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger. So they're always lusty towards material sense gratification. Sense gratification, if they're enjoying, they're not able to enjoy, they become frustrated. Or if they're not able to enjoy, then also they become frustrated. Both side they get frustration. By enjoying also they get frustration. By not enjoying also they lament I don't have, and they are again frustrated. And even though they are enjoying at one place, their mind is thinking at 10 different places where they are not able to enjoy. So they have unlimited desires. This is called, the attitude is aham bhokta. I am bhokta. So anything, anybody else who is becoming a bhokta will give me lot of anxiety. Unlimited desires, absorbed, always absorbed in lust and anger. They secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Oh, I don't have money, let me try to gamble. Let me see if I can get some more money. Let me try to cheat. Let me try to push somebody down so that I can get a higher hike, a higher position, whatever it takes. And then what more about money. A demoniac person thinks, this is very nice, a demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today. So he checks the bank account. Okay, $300,000. So much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So he thinks, well, I'm doing these things, so I'll gain some more now. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. Okay, I have 300,000. By 5 years from now, I will have 500,000. By 10 years from now, I will have $1 million, and I have become a millionaire now. And maybe by end of my life, this is where I would be. But he is always thinking about aham bhokta. I am the enjoyer. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future. So this is called kama ashrita. My shelter, my happiness depends upon how much I have. It does not depend upon my relationship with Krishna. What is the need of bhajan? I have my sense gratification. My minimum should be there. Yes, I'm envious of others who have more than me, but that's okay. At least I should be above par. So more and more, he is my enemy, and I've killed him. In other words, he is my enemy. Okay, we may not kill him, but he's my enemy. So at least I desire that something bad should happen to him. He should suffer, at least, because he is my enemy. And then, he is my enemy, I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. And other people who go against me, anybody who goes against me, they will also suffer. Everybody should suffer. Why? Aham bhokta. I am the enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. Um, I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am perfect. I I don't make any mistakes. Whatever ideas I give are perfect. Whatever I speak is perfect. I am perfect, powerful. Don't mess up with me. Otherwise, see what will happen to you. I am powerful, and I am very happy. This person is bound by unlimited anxieties and envy and anger and lust and greed and never satisfied. Still, this person thinks out of Maya, I am very happy. See what all I have. Baba, whatever you have, you're not able to enjoy that. It just remains what you have. And because of your unlimited desires, you're always in anxiety and miserable. But he thinks, nahi, aham sukhi. I am very happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. And then he thinks, well, among all my relatives, I am the richest. And my friends are also very high category. So I am this caliber. And these people are low. So he thinks, I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. Yeah, see around me, surrounding. Is there anybody as powerful as I am? No, I am the most powerful, and everybody else is suffering. Everybody else suffering, but I am the most happy among all. So I am really the bhokta. I am the enjoyer. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. I shall give some charity. What will happen if I give some charity? Yeah, then others will know that I am their maintainer. Without me, they cannot do it. So I will give some charity, and I feel happiness by them seeing me as Prabhuji, aap to great ho, Mahan Atma, because I have given some charity. So they will have such respect for me. So I shall rejoice by giving some charity. I shall perform some sacrifice so that more pleasure will come to me by performing sacrifice. Little, it just take $100 $200. We'll call some priest, give him, like we give to dogs, give him some $100 $200, and they are anyways hungry. And this sacrifice will be on my name, so lot of auspiciousness will come to me, and then I will become even more bhokta, even more enjoyer. So everything is based around fulfilling my material desires. And I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So they are just material life keeps going, 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 going. I remember I was in the university. I really related with this verse. Now, in the university, I had a loan of 30 40,000 dollars. I was doing my masters here in US, and then I had a job. Now, university job, you are on F1 visa, you cannot work outside. So my job was like $15 an hour, and I had like $300 400 in the bank total. And now I don't even have that. So I had only $300 400 in the bank, and I would think, okay, if I work 8 hours tomorrow and 10 hours day after tomorrow, and somehow get my 40 hours done, then I will probably be at $600 next month, and the month after that I'll be $800. By the time I graduate, I will have $1,000, and then once I have $1,000, then maybe I can think of buying a second-hand car. May not be in a very good condition, but what about this? What about this? What about this? There is something, and there are unlimited desires, and I'm only think there is no Krishna there. All my life consists of is this thought process. This much I have, this much I will have more. By this time I'll be this, and I have these many desires, and I fulfill it. And then if somebody has more than me, then how is it possible? I am Bhokta, right? I am the enjoyer. How can somebody enjoy more than me? So their anxieties are immeasurable. Desires are unlimited. So in this way, the ignorance takes over a man who has these demoniac qualities. And he does everything centered around his attitude, which is aham bhokta, I am the enjoyer. And then what happens? Krishna says, what do I do with them? Patanti. Krishna says, Aneka chitta vibranta mohajala samavrita prashakta kama bhogeshu patanti narake suchau. Krishna says, what do I do with them? Patanti narake suchau. Krishna says, they fall down. Patan ho gaya. Patan means fall down. Where? Narake. Narake means hell. Naraka. Narake. This is the first time in Bhagavad Gita Krishna uses the word Naraka. Always Krishna speaks like Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tattadeham punarjanma naiti naiti mameti so Arjuna. You will come to me, O Arjuna. You will come to me, you will come to me, you will come to me. Many places he says you perform devotions, you will come to me. But Krishna also want to give a contrast. What if does not follow what Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita? Well, this is what will happen. Now, choice is ours, whether we believe it or not believe it. It doesn't matter if we believe it or not believe it. This is what is going to happen nonetheless. So, aneka chitta vibhranta, thus perplexed by various anxieties. Why various anxieties? Filled with lust and anger. When there is lust, there is anger. Why? Krishna says, Kam esha krodha esha. Kam krodha bijayate. From kama comes krodha. From lust comes anger. Unfulfilled lust gives rise to anger. And unlimited desire, so unlimited lust, eventually it's all going to convert to anger. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ehi samspasha cha bhoga, dukha yonana evate, adi antavanta kontaya na teshu ramate buddha. A knowledgeable person, intelligent person, does not take place in source of misery. And the source of misery comes from contact of senses with the object of the senses. So a person, if he can understand this and stop such desires and focus that desire towards Krishna consciousness, he can remain peaceful. Not the person who is trying to fulfill the desires by all means. He's simply going to get deeper and deeper entrenched into those activities. So aneka chitta vibranta, perplexed by various anxieties, moha jala. Moha jal means network. Jal of moha, network of illusions. Oh, this is my this my this my this. So there's a whole network of illusion, and I am this. Who are you? Computer science engineer. This is called moha jala. Is if nobody if somebody asks who are you, we don't say mamai vamsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, I am part and parcel of Krishna. We say no, I am this and this and this and this and this. This is called moha jala, because at the time of death everything is, all our identification are lost. But identifying ourselves as something which we are not, becoming proud of things that do not belong to us, that are there with us for a temporary nature, and that's not really who we are, taking shelter of those things, this is all moha jala. We identify ourselves with the surroundings. So moha jala samavrita, bound by network of illusion, prasakta kama bhogeshu, they are strongly attached to sense enjoyment. That's why bhajan is required. Unless we are not doing bhajan na, we are not going to come to stage of anartha nivritti. There is called artha pravriti and anartha nivritti. Artha pravriti means enjoy more. Anartha nivritti means anarthas are removed. So prasakta means attached. They're very attached to kama bhogeshu. Kama means lust, material desire, and bhog is enjoy. They are really attached to enjoy the lusty desires. Prasakta kama bhogeshu. What do I do with them? Patanti. I cast them into hell, O Arjuna. Those who are demoniac by nature. Then demoniac, hypocritical nature. Atma sambhavita stabdha dana mana madanvita yajante nama yajnaiste dambhe na vidhi purvakam. Atma sambhavita stabdha, self complacent and always impudent. Self complacent. One time one devotee asked my spiritual master that um, what are the enemies to make progress in Krishna consciousness. My spiritual master said there are two enemies for those who want to make progress. He said one is complacency, and he said one is procrastination. These are the two enemies for one who want to make progress in Krishna consciousness. Complacency means, yeah, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita once a week. That's sufficient for my spiritual life. I don't need to take to next level. Complacency. Complacency means not. I'm satisfied with my current advancement of Krishna consciousness. I'm okay with that. I don't need more. This is called complacency. not willing to take the next step. And procrastination means delaying. Okay, yeah, this is not sufficient. I need to do something more. I realize that this is not sufficient. Then there is procrastination. Well, maybe next month I will see if I can take another step, and then maybe next month, and then maybe next month, and that next step never comes. This is called procrastination. Prabhupada said mode of goodness means if something is good to be done, it should be done today. Mode of goodness. Mode of ignorance means, oh, today is too difficult. Let me try tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Today is too busy. Let me try tomorrow. This is called procrastination. So self-complacent and always impudent. Dana mana madanvita, deluded by wealth and false prestige. So they think themselves, they identify themselves with their wealth, and they become very proud of it. So deluded by wealth and false prestige that comes because of the wealth. Yajante nam yagyaste. They sometimes proudly do sacrifices in name only. So they do yajante, they do yagya, they do sacrifices. They act like they're very spiritual people. They go to temple, they buy a new home, they get homas done in their home. Any ceremony they do, they invoke some kind of auspiciousness. So they do yajante, but naam yagyaste, keval naam ke vaste, only for the sake of name. Yeah, I think this is not good. Let's do some vastu shanti. Let's do some homam. Let's do this. Let's do that. Why? If there is some auspiciousness, let it come now. Just $100. That's all right. Let it come. Let us get some benefit. So in the name only, they do all these things. Dambhe na vidhi purvakam, without following any spiritual rules and regulations. They just want somebody come do something in the name only, and their purpose of doing those things is also not to please the supreme personality of Godhead, but to remove any obstacle in my enjoyment. Again, Kam Bhogeshu, Kam Ashrita. Principle says I am the enjoyer. And they are deluded by wealth and they have lot of false prestige. And what happens further to those people? Further results of demonic activities. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodha cha samshrita mam atma paradeheshu pradvishanto bhyasuyakaha. Ahankaram. Ahankaram means they have lot of ahankar, lot of ego. Lot means a lot of ego. When a person has lot of ego, na, you cannot talk to him nicely. He will feel bad at a very small thing. Sometimes we say this person is very sensitive. Actually, being very sensitive is a sign of false ego. Signs of big false ego. Being very sensitive. Why? Because you tell a small thing and the person ego gets hurt very quickly. That's what sensitive means. He is easily hurt. So lot of false ego. Then balam darpam. Ahankaram balam darpam. They take shelter of strength. I can take care of it by myself. And darpam. They take shelter of pride. Kamam krodham cha samsrita. And they take shelter of lust. They take shelter of anger. If things don't go my way, then I'll become angry and I'll get things done through anger. I have to get things done, what I want to get it done. I will take shelter of anger to get things done. I'll take shelter of lust to get things done. I want my happiness. Yeah, there is a desire, there is a way, get it done. That's my shelter. When I need some pleasure, I have lusty desires. I will take shelter of them. That's why I'll become happy. And things don't go my way, I will take shelter of anger. And if somebody says something I don't like, I will take shelter of false ego and destroy that person. Become angry with that person. I will not even talk to that person. Why? How can you say like that to me? These are all signs of false ego. And pride, no question of talking about pride. And then mam atma para dehishu, they become envious of me who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others. They blaspheme against the real religion. So further, what do? Demoniac people, it all begins with demoniac philosophy. Demoniac philosophy means there is no god. Now, we may not say that, but then there is a lack of faith. Maybe there is a little faith and there is a question mark. That's why we are okay to do all these things, because it comes from the philosophy that there is no God, so there is no karma. So it's okay to act in this way because it's not going to affect me. That's why it's okay. When a person is fully conscious of God and fully knowledgeable of himself and his relationship with the Lord, when he has full faith there, his activities will be on a spiritual platform. One's activities depicts one's faith. My spiritual master says words are cheap. Many people can say many things, but through activities you know how much faith they have, not just words, but what they are doing, what is their lifestyle, that depicts their faith in the Supreme Lord. So they become envious of me. Sometime in the past, we saw envy toward any living entity is envy towards Krishna. Envy towards any living entity is envy toward Krishna, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others. Krishna is sitting in the heart of every living entity. So when we become envious of somebody, in that way also we are becoming envious of Krishna. And also, whatever anybody has, Krishna has sanctioned it, that's why they have what they have. So becoming envious of them is like, why Krishna gave them and why Krishna didn't give me, the object of sense gratification. So any kind of envy toward any living entity is actually envying Krishna's arrangement. Why Krishna made such an arrangement. So thus, because they take shelter of Kam, Krodh. Krodh means things are not going my way, so I'll become angry. That is calm. Things should go my way. That is lust. So they take shelter of false ego, calm, growth, and naturally, when there is a combination of pride and all these things, there will be so many desires, unfulfilled desires. Others have fulfilled some of the desires that I don't have fulfilled. They will be envy, and they will be envy to the Supreme Lord, and they blaspheme against real religion. When things don't go their way, they blaspheme. Who says there is God? How can he do like this to me? There is blasphemy against real religion. So this is the last verse of this section, Krishna's treatment of the demoniac. Um, I will directly read the English because I just saw that the time is running out. I perpetually cast the envious, cruel, and lowest among men into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Ashu Rish Eva Yonishu. Yoni means different species of life, and Asuri means demoniac. Krishna says those who have this philosophy, this mentality of being the enjoyer, doing everything, causing harm to others, taking shelter of false ego, lust, anger, envy, pride. So, those who have all these characteristics, I perpetually cast the envious, cruel, and lowest among men into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. We know that there are 8.4 million species. Based on our desire and activities, we will get an appropriate species according to our karma. And attaining repeated birth among the demoniac species, such fools can never approach me, O son of Kunti. Gradually, they sink down to the lower status of life. So, these demoniac people, they go into a lower species, and then they live in that lower species, and then their cycle of birth and that continues, and there is repeated birth of such demoniac species, such fools, into 8.4 million species. Somebody becomes an owl, somebody becomes an ant, somebody becomes a bed bug, somebody becomes a tree, somebody becomes a bird, somebody becomes a reptile, somebody becomes a fish, somebody becomes whatever. So there is repeated cycle of birth and death, and in any of the species they cannot approach me. Wherever species they go, their activities are just like humans: eating, sleeping, mating, defending, constantly looking for something to eat, constantly looking for some sex life, constantly looking for a safe place to sleep, and constantly defending their life and the life of their loved ones from danger and fear. And this is their constant activities. And then life is over according to karma, and then there is next life. So in this way, one keeps going through repeated birth, through multiple species of life, um, and cannot take shelter of Krishna. Okay. Now, I will take 3 more minutes, just one or two verses only in this section. So we are done with this chapter. There are three gateways leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. So Krishna says three gateways to hell. They are lust, anger, and greed. When we act on lust, it's a gateway. Gateway means the door opens, and then there is a naraka on the other side. So these are called gates to hell. So there are three gates leading to this hell. One door is lust. Lust, we act on lust, one door opens. We act on greed, another door opens. We act on anger, another door opens. Lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Those who act on these things, kama bhogeshu. So these things are representative of demoniac quality within us: lust, anger, and greed. Again, it's not easy to get out of this, but the process of bhajan, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, association of devotees, reading scriptures, eating Krishna Prasadam, these four ABCD will protect us. They are very, very beneficial. Krishna has spoken about it throughout the Bhagavad Gita. If one is fortunate enough to take shelter of this ABCD, association, reading scriptures, chanting the names of Lord, and eating Krishna Prasada, their life will become safe. We will be greatly benefited by this. These three things are very difficult to give up otherwise. Krishna says every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation. These things will degrade us: lust, anger, and greed. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs act conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. But if one can escape these three gates, don't act on lust, don't act on greed, don't act on anger. If one can escape these three gates, and then who act his life in such a way that it is conducive to self-realization, hearing, chanting, association, keep these principles, close those three doors, then they gradually attain supreme destination. See, Krishna consciousness is all positive. Krishna says in 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita, if one begins Krishna consciousness but does not attain perfection, that person may still have lust, anger, greed. Still, he says next life human is guaranteed. And he continues, as long as we are sincerely trying to avoid acting on a material platform, and as long as we are sincerely trying to practice Krishna consciousness, we are good. If we are sincere, we'll go back to God in this life. If not, in the next life we will begin from where we left off. Many of us, or some of us, possibly are continuing their Krishna consciousness from previous life, and we are growing. And if we have bhajan, we will keep growing further. So Krishna is, it's Bhagavad Gita is all about positive, but Krishna also speaks at one place. He presents the fact. Well, please, this is just to help us understand that, well, everything is positive, but please understand that demoniac qualities are not so great. They create a lot of anxiety and they make us miserable in this life and the next also. And then Krishna says, he who discards scriptural injunctions and act according to his own whims attain neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. And Krishna says, well, please do not have doubt in these statements of Bhagavad Gita. He says, he who discards spiritual injunctions, he who says, I don't believe in what Krishna says, Patanti Narakai Adhishu, I don't believe in all these things. So Krishna says, no, please don't reject it. He says, these are the very scriptures. He says, one who discard these injunctions mentioned in scriptures. If we discard scriptures, then we act according to our own whims. Then we think what I think is right. Now, are we more intelligent than Krishna who is speaking this? So then he acts according to his own whims. He doesn't act according to scriptures. Then he neither attain perfection naturally, because path of perfection is Bhagavad Gita. If one rejects Bhagavad Gita, can't attain perfection, can't attain happiness, because he will run towards naturally material things. It's going to bring misery, anxiety, envy, pride, ego, lust, anger. It's going to bring all these things. How can there be happiness there? Cannot attain the supreme destination, cannot attain perfection, cannot attain happiness. So please don't discard this injunction, but try to live a life according to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This is the last verse for today. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of scriptures. So please read Bhagavad Gita, understand what should be done, what should not be done. What should be done? Every chapter Krishna ends with the same principle. Bhaktya, devotional service, devotional service, devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Everywhere, bhakti, bhakti. You render devotional service to me. And once we come to 18th chapter, you will see Krishna says, this is the path, devotional service. So one should understand what to be done and what is not to be done through scriptures. Knowing these rules and regulation, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So first is knowledge and then is practice. Prabhupada says knowledge without practice becomes philosophy, dry philosophy. And practice without knowledge becomes sentiment. So we need knowledge, so we know what is right, what is wrong, and we need to act on it. That is a recommended path. So that is the 24th verse, the last verse for today. We'll see if there are some questions. If there are any questions,
Dhanwad Pranam, Prabhuji.
then what Pranam Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, very detailed explanation, very inspiring. Prabhuji, my inquiry is on the nature. So we hear that it is important for one to know one's nature so that one can act accordingly. But then we understand that's a material aspect of the nature. We have a spiritual nature, which is entirely different. So my inquiry was, is it really necessary to know the material nature? Because if one is engaged in spiritual activities, then the spiritual nature will be revealed over a period of time. Why knowing a material nature, why it helps? Like one is of a Brahmanical nature or a Kshatriya nature. Does that really help? One may be of any nature, because knowing the nature is in itself a different, deep art. I mean, one may be involved for years to understand that aspect. Should one really bother about it? That's my inquiry.
Well, Prabhuji, if we know our material nature, then we can engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness according to our nature. That will keep us satisfied in Krishna consciousness. And even though we may not know our nature, we will have certain inclinations of how I want to serve in Krishna consciousness. That itself defines our nature. But even if we don't know, we should do things that satisfy us, the service that satisfies Krishna consciousness. For example, some people who are Kshatriya by nature would like to lead a temple, suppose. Some people who are Vaishya by nature may like to deal with the finances of the temple. Some people who are Brahminical by nature may like to preach. the message of Bhagavad Gita. So different people who like to take care of certain aspect will not like another aspect, because everyone is acting according to our nature. So even though we don't understand our nature, if we have certain inclination, that tells us of our nature, and we should serve accordingly. Does it help, Anantari Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, I agree on that. Yes. Prabhuji, one more inquiry was on the faith aspect. Like we understand that the ladder of faith, starting from Shraddha to Prema, the inquiry was, Prabhuji, as our spiritual desire will increase, then this ladder we will climb. So, Prabhuji, the spiritual desire increment, is it something that we can have on our own, or is it a mercy driven factor? Like it's a mercy of Lord that will increase our spiritual desire, or we can take initiatives in spiritual life, we can increase our spiritual desire. That is my inquiry.
Hmm. Prabhuji, our spiritual desire will increase with our uh, as we advance. The spiritual desire can increase in good association. It can increase by reading scriptures. So um, um, these things will help us to intensify the desire. The more we read, the more we gain knowledge, the more desire will become stronger. And as the desire becomes stronger, the activity of Krishna consciousness and prayers will become more intense. And as we become more and more clear within, it will further enhance one's desire.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just like
So,
just like if we are hearing Krishna Katha, if we are hearing about Krishna, and say we are hearing about the cows or the cowherd boys or the gopis, and we are hearing and hearing and hearing, it will kind of nourish our desire um, in more Krishna conscious way. Once we have more clarity about Krishna consciousness, it will further enhance our desire. So reading, hearing, association of those who are pure devotees like spiritual master, so these things all kind of fan that desire, and that inspires us to intensify our own Krishna consciousness, and it's a positive loop that keeps going on. So these activities should go on, hearing and chanting.
yes, Prabhuji. So it's like an active involvement from the sadhaka has to be there.
Yes, Prabhu, because if there is not real Shravanam Kirtanam going on, then there is a good chance that our spiritual practices may become mechanical. It won't be with a deep desire for progress or a certain inclination towards a direction, but it will become more like doing it for the sake of doing. And our meditations may also become less and less deeper in our sadhana. So these things really help kind of give us a focus of where I want to be, what I want to be, what I want to do, where I get my nourishment. It will take us positively towards a positive desire.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, I think we are good unless anyone has any questions. Okay, we'll end here. My obeisances. Panchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you very much. Dhanvat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Very well.
Hare Krishna.